Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 8, Episode 5. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, the show started where it ended last week, which was with the fight between Cynthia and Portia. And this is where we saw that Cynthia kicked Portia in the stomach. Now, what she actually did was kick her in the puss. Not really kick her, but, you know, kind of push her in the puss. Then she kicked her in the stomach a second time. So, look, I can understand how Cynthia felt. When somebody is over you, your defenses is kind of to back up and just, you know, kick your legs out like that. Plus, I was always told as a defensive tactic, if you don't have strong arms, it's always good to use your legs. Usually your legs are much stronger than your arms. My arms are like shit, you guys, like spaghetti noodles. And then once the fight was over, it was so funny because everybody was just so fucking confused. First of all, Cynthia was very upset, like, get the camera out of my face, get the fuck out of my face, I don't want that in my face. I thought it was very interesting that Kenya was sort of fanning the flames. Well, I guess I can try to understand where Kenya was coming from. She was already annoyed with the Shamia girl. And I guess because of Portia and Kenya's previous experiences with each other, that Kenya would automatically, you know, say that Portia needs to go as well. And of course, we can't forget that Portia did bring Shamia. And Shamia has been on some bullshit, you know, so I'm gonna give Kenya a pass for now. For now, right now, she's gonna get a pass on how she was acting on that boat. It was funny because everybody else was so fucking confused, though. They just couldn't understand how it escalated, just like how I felt. Like, how did it get from where they were to where it ended up? Poor little Kim. I was like, girl, you're going to get way thicker skin if you want to be around this group of girls. Okay. She actually started crying. I probably would have felt that same way. Like, oh my God, like, you guys are fucking animals. How you guys just be fighting and carrying on like this, you know? But Kim was trying to bring the logic to it. It just wasn't making sense to her. Like, the girls were not hearing each other. Like, this one was trying to say something and that one, and yeah, I you know, bitch, I can't be fucking around with y'all. This is how y'all roll. Because the kids, honey, when we go on play dates, I ain't got to be tussling with no damn mamas or nothing. Let me get my motherfucking book and my snacks and go sit down at the front of this boat. Poor Kim. The whole time, you know, Candy was just like, I don't know how. Well, how about when they started fighting, how security or production, whoever that was, had to tackle Portia? Why the fuck do they always have to tackle her? It makes it look like she's so way more out of control. I mean, this girl is not that huge. She can't be that hard to control. I think a motherfucker just want to jump on the bitch, okay? You want to fuck Portia? Or do you want to subside Portia? Oh, here we go again. You know, her trying to jump, her humping the person on top of her, everybody over her continuing on to go on and talk. Sheree was just like, girl, shut up. You have done enough here already. Don't say nothing else. Even in all the commotion, I still felt like Cynthia overreacted. But whatever, Kenya got her wish. She put Portia off the boat. She pushed Shamia off the boat, which at this point needed to happen, okay? We just needed to get some distance between the two of them. Poor Cynthia, she just couldn't quite get her head around this whole situation, okay? Had to talk to her man Peter and let him know that, babe, I know we going through some shit, but I need you right now. I need you to come home. There was some shit that went down on the boat. It got physical. I had to kick the bitch in the pussy in the stomach. I need you. So Peter just says, okay, he's on his way. So that was pretty much it, the fight on the boat. I knew that they would show it because Real Housewives of Atlanta they do show us the fights. It's not like Love and Hip Hop, but I guess Love and Hip Hop has more issues with suing than Real Housewives of Atlanta. But that was the showdown on Lake Lanier. For the rest of pretty much a good chunk of the show was everybody just talking about their version of what happened on the boat. First we had Portia, you know, she met up with her mother, and was it her sister, y'all? Mama came on down there looking like Beyonce in about 10 years. That mother is so cute to me. Girl, I tell you, she looked like she be getting her club on still, though. Portia was just showing them, like, the bruises. I mean, she had fucking bruises on the back of her legs. She had bruises on her stomach, on her arms. And I'm gonna be willing to bet that most of those bruises came from the people tackling her and not necessarily Cynthia. I mean, I'm sure the kick in the stomach probably was a good little slice, maybe from the tip of Cynthia's shoes, or, you know, her long ass toenail toenails. That bitch got man feet. Anyway, other than that, all that other shit was them trying to wrestle her down. I don't even feel like going into the whole thing. She was just basically saying that she was hurt. I was talking to her and we was having a good time on the boat, and then it just turned and I don't know what happened, but I was being supportive and I was being nice and I was being there for Cynthia, and then she got mad at me because she said I was calling her a bitch. Anybody who has eyes and watched that scene last week knows that Cynthia took it somewhere else, that Portia did not mean what Cynthia took it as. Portia says the only reason why she's trying to give Cynthia even the benefit of the doubt with all of this is because she knows what she's going through as far as this shit that goes on with Peter. Did you guys hear how slick she was when she was just like, I know stuff about Peter. I could, you know, basically fuck up his whole show. I was just like, that was real slick there. Okay, what do you know? I mean, either say it or just leave the shit alone. Okay, but this has been like 2 seasons of her hinting around that Peter is fucking around, and it's mighty convenient that it follows up with this video of him out there in North Carolina, even though there's always been little whisperings of Peter fucking around. Still no absolute proof. That video to me ain't proof. Whatever, you guys. Kim and Phaedra, they meet up. I guess they, where were they? Getting juice drinks or something like that. They meet up and, you know, Kim tells Phaedra what happened. Phaedra's just like, honey, I'm glad I wasn't there. And thank God for small favors, because I ain't had time to be fucking around with them and the fucking shenanigans on the lake. I've been told you, girl, that this group is a whole different kind of group. They can turn a fucking orgasm into a bad time. I tried to tell you, but Kim was just like, yeah, I don't understand how folks went from that. I mean, it started with Kenya saying, I don't like you being on my boat and I'm about to get you put off. Just where they do that at? You know, I was like, girl, like I said, you better get used to it. What the fuck on the damn one-on-ones? I cannot. We cannot let that pass, you guys. Now, we talked about Nene and her fucked up blonde. We can't give Kim a pass because we love Kim. I do love Kim, but you guys, we cannot. What the fuck is that big ass white? It's a cotton ball, you guys. It's so, and it's not even blonde. It's like almost gray. It's big. This part right here is yellow, and then it's white gray. Oh, it's so fucking wrong, you guys. It makes me so mad when she talks. I said, girl, you gonna have to do something with that. Somebody out there help Kim. That's all we need. I ain't even gonna worry about the clothes. We just get this head together. That's it, y'all. That's it. Then we see Candy telling Don and Karma what happened. They was arguing back and forth, and then she said, don't make me come out of my seat. If I get up out of my seat, it's gonna be bad. Then she gets up and Cynthia kicks her in her stomach. Don and Karma was just like, what the fuck is going on that damn boat? And then, of course, we see Kenya. She's giving her own version to Auntie Cisco. Shout out to Funky Dineva. Like I said, Kenya has her own special spin on it. And she feels like the reason why it turned up the way that it did was because of Portia. Auntie Cisco tells her that, you know what, you girls really need to stop with all this fighting. Maybe you guys can all sit down together again and discuss, you know, what you guys fought about and maybe get past it. Okay, so Kenya says she's willing to do that. She's going to sit down and talk to Portia a one-on-one before she gets everybody else together. She just wants to make sure that Portia is not going to go off on Cynthia again. I was just like, what do you need to have a one-on-one anyway, you guys? I guess it's up to Kenya to try to check Portia. Child, I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about the brunch in a second. Now, Cynthia, she's at the house. She got that dejected look on her face. Well, you know, when you done cut up real bad when you've been drinking and all your friends call you the fucking next day and tell you everything. Okay, that's that same look. I know that's how she felt on the inside. Everybody like, bitch, you cut the fuck up last night. Everybody can't wait to tell you how your ass went and peed on yourself and took your shoes off and ran down the street and then they couldn't find your purse. No. So anyway, she's at the house. As soon as Peter walks in the door, she walks up to him and she just gives him a hug like, thank you that you're here, you guys. Was it just me, or did Peter look extra crispity crunchity? I was just like, now, did they put some makeup on Peter? Now, I know Peter always been a nice chocolate man, okay? But that motherfucker looked real black and with real white beard, and I was just like, you know, look like, I mean, what the fuck? I was like, now did they do that on purpose? Not that it's a bad thing. Rocky love her black men's, but I mean, I know I wasn't the only one that was looking like, the fuck, is something wrong with the balance of my color on the TV or something? Anyway, you guys, she's telling him like, okay, so we got into this argument. She called me a bitch, and I felt like, you know, she was being shady and she was being disrespectful. But, you know, I feel bad. I feel like there's a little bit of a chance this big that I overreacted. And Peter was just like, well, yeah, you feel bad because you hurt her. And she was just like, what do you mean I hurt her? He was just like, well, you kicked her in the pussy in the stomach, I would think that that shit hurt. She was just like, no, don't say that I hurt her. I got her out my face. I wasn't really trying to hurt her. And he was just like, okay, well, whatever it is, Cynthia. I mean, what the fuck do you want me to say? This is what you told me. You got me rushing home and shit. And she was just like, no, but I don't want you to say that I hurt her. Okay, I just want it to be, you know. And he was just like, look, I don't really care. I ain't trying to argue with you about whether or not the bitch stomach and pussy hurt or not. I'm here. I want us to work on everything that's going on with us. We don't need to be fighting over what happened to Portia now, do we? You know, he's just there for her. Like she said, that Peter is her rock. And they needed something like this to bring them together, child. I guess if it takes somebody to get kicked in the damn coochie, then why not? Okay? That don't seem like a whole bunch of trouble to me. Let's talk about this fucking brunch. Okay, so Kenya and Portia, they meet ahead of time. And my opinion is that Kenya was very condescending from the very beginning. She kind of talks to Portia like she's a child. I know that we tease Portia all the time and, you know, say that she's not smart and, you know, she's clueless and she's dumb and, you know, she needs help and all of that. But, you know, motherfucker has sense enough to know when somebody is talking down to you, and I cannot stand when people do that to me. It's even worse when they don't think that you realize that they being condescending, okay? And that's a sure way to get fucking cussed out. So when she was talking to her, you know, and Kenya was just like, well, you know, I know that the situation on the boat was not good for any of the girls, but how do you feel? Portia's thing was just like, she didn't understand how it got from that very beginning where everybody was having fun to getting kicked off the boat. And Kenya was just like, but you don't see how you were responsible for any of that? This is when the shit was going downhill. Because first of all, bitch, don't smile at me and talk at me and then place all the fucking blame on me when I wasn't the only one that was in this argument. And so Portia shot that shit down real fast. She was like, first of fucking all, wait a minute. I'm not going to sit up here and talk to you about any of this because you don't have any concern for me. You don't care about me. You sitting up here because you want to be on this fucking show, and they done said that we need to stop all this fucking fighting and arguing and fussing with each other all the time. So now you have taken it upon yourself to try to make nice with me, but still undercover make it seem like this shit is all my fault when it wasn't just all my fault. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of the shit was my fault. Kenya was just like, well, we've had a situation in the past, and you don't see how this, you know, mimics just like the other situation. And Portia was just like, yeah, but like I said, we're not going to talk about any of this because we're not friends. Okay, if anybody else was sitting here talking to me about this, maybe I could understand what they saying. But the fact that it's you and all of our history, yeah, I don't trust you. We ain't fixing to have this conversation. So then Kenya, as she told us that she was going to be the bigger person, she decided to rewind it. Yeah, bitch, this approach is not about to work. And I'm sure them producers was just like, we ain't fixing to have all this fucking fight, and you guys resolve that shit at that table. Because otherwise, Portia would have just got up and left. That's how you know they told him to stay there. That's when Kenya said, well, I do believe that it was your fault, and I believe that it was Cynthia's fault. And I feel like if you guys can talk about it, then we can, you know, move past it. Okay, and that's when Portia was able to kind of meet Kenya halfway. So we get on to the damn brunch. The girls are all there. The last to come in is Kenya and Portia, you know, and they're all surprised to see that them two walked in together. And, you know, Kenya was just like, well, we just had a meeting just to see, you know, if we were all on the same page again. I was just like, bitch, shut up, shit. Kim, you know, maybe this will be Kim's role as the moderator, okay, because she's the neutral one. Okay, it used to be Candy, but Candy is fucking not neutral no more. Candy is just a fucking ass mess, okay? This might be what Kim turns into as time goes on. But anyway, Kim was just like, look, I'm new here. I don't have a side. I just want to know, you know, how do you guys feel since this is the first time that we've all been together since you guys had the showdown on Lake Lanier. Cynthia and Portia get up and, you know, they were just like, you know, can we talk to each other, you know, in another room? So they walk off to the other room. Now, in the other room while they're talking, okay, we got Kenya and Candy and Kim and Phaedra and all the rest of them sitting there at the table. Kenya tries it again, okay, tries to blame it all on Portia. And honey, Candy put an end to that shit real fast. Kenya, sometimes you are good at pointing out what everybody else does wrong, but you don't never take responsibility for what you did wrong. And honey, why she say that? Kenya didn't like that. Now, bitch, you are talking about you and Portia's fight. Nobody wants to understand that the reason why Portia attacked Kenya in the first place was because Kenya was blowing shit in her face and talking about her and saying mean shit and having this bullhorn and having this scepter and all of that. Nobody wants to talk about what truly started the shit. They just want to make it seem like Portia just jumped on Kenya. And don't be up in here with this shit talking about, oh, if it's just words and don't nobody. You guys, words will get you fucked up too. I done told you that 100 damn times. I don't want to hear that shit no more today. Kenya was just like, well, I'm so glad that she has somebody out here arguing for her. I wish you would argue for me sometimes. And Candy was just like, that's not the point though. The point is you need to take responsibility for the shit that you did too. The reason why you guys was up on the damn ground at the fucking reunion in your designer duds. In the other room, like I said, Cynthia and Portia are talking. They both, like I said, this is two drunk niggas of shit that went too far, embarrassed. Just the fact that the both of them realized that they had went too far, that's how you knew that they were sincere about what they were saying. So, you know, they talk. Cynthia says that she took it too far, and Portia says she's sorry, and Cynthia says she's sorry, and then they hug it out. They get up, they go back into the brunch. All the girls are very happy that they was able to resolve the issue there. So like I said, you guys, if you don't realize Real Housewives of Atlanta is taking a different angle this season, this is all very short-lived beefs that are resolved within an episode or two, no longer carrying the shit out the whole entire season. Okay, I think last season, the last couple of seasons really got these girls some enemies, and not just, you know, your normal, oh, I can't stand this person banter on these reality shows. I mean, these girls really had to face a whole lot of social media outcry and all of that. So I think Real Housewives of Atlanta is trying to change it up now. This is how they're doing it. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of some bullshit because, you know, we know that Portia and Kenya will never really like each other. They tolerate each other for the show, but at the same token, I don't want to see them just fighting at each other's throats the way that they have been in the past. So, I mean, I guess this works. I mean, does this work for you guys? Were you guys okay with the way the episode ended last night? Alright, you guys, I gotta get off of here. I'm distracted because I have some work that I have to do at work. So that's why, you know, you didn't get too many of the reenactments today. But y'all, we'll be back right up. You know, it's the end of the year, and I am going to be on winter hiatus as well. So I'm only doing videos up to December 23rd. And then, honey, it's a wrap for Roxanne and won't be back until after New Year. So I'm, like, looking forward to it. Okay, it's like a vacation coming. So, yeah, you guys. Anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta, that's it, you guys. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel is for It's Rox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright? Alright. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.